everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joel. In today's video we are going to be looking at Nightcrawler and how to deal with him. He's a very tricky, a very difficult character to fight against. Run into him a lot in Alliance War defense, going up against him. Specifically, I'm going to look at some duels today, but I've also got some gameplay footage of where I run into him a lot, and that is on the stun immune nodes. There are really, there's a couple areas you need to be aware of when it comes to Nightcrawler, but the first one, and the most basic one, is the different combat forms that he can get himself into. Which, this is my Nightcrawler, nothing special there. I'll take him up to 550 here in the next couple weeks. But first thing you want to look at is his passive ability there. By dodging back and holding block for 2 seconds, he is able to switch back and forth between his two combat forms. And his first combat form there, you can read, is Neophym mode. Basically, the long and short of it is he becomes like a Spider-Man, basically. He's got an evade that it says a 16% chance for mine. I don't know what it goes up to once he's duped a couple times, but it seems like almost every other hit when he is in that form that you try to put on him, he ends up evading. So that's a very difficult way, you know, to fight him, because you just don't know when he's gonna evade back on you. What you really want to do is get him to dodge back and attack him while he's, you know, holding his block, to move him over into his second combat form there, which is swashbuckling mode. Basically, he just gets more attack power, more crit rate, more crit damage. And that is really the combat form you want to be fighting him in. He's much more predictable, not evading back on you. A quick tip is, if you are fighting a awakened Nightcrawler, which mine is not, but he is actually easier to deal with. His signature ability when he is awakened grants him the ability to swap back and forth between stances a lot quicker. I don't know what the actual time is, but it's less than 2 seconds. What I'm going to show you now is there's a legend that I've pulled up on the leaderboards that I'm going to be dueling. And then, as I mentioned before, I will actually show some Alliance War, some offense. I was against him as a stun immune node, and show you how to take him down. Now, the first thing you're going to want to become comfortable with is being able and knowing when to run in and attack him long enough to push him out of his Neophym form. So what you just saw there is he dashed back and was holding block. And I came in to hit him, and it usually takes, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 blocks, depending upon if he's awakened, or 3 or 4 hits, depending upon whether he's awakened. As you see right there, that's just exactly what happened. He dashed back, was holding his block, that timer came up, and you want to continue to hit him until he jumps out of that Neophym form into the swashbuckling form. Now here, one thing to keep in mind, and a lot of the new characters are like this, his heavy attack, which he jumps up there and spins around, it feels like, and it looks like, the animation wise, if you just dash back once, evade back once, there's going to be plenty of room to miss it, like right here. But in reality, you actually need to swipe back twice in order to keep yourself from getting hit. I have been hit more than a few times with that heavy attack, just because it feels like I should be able to just swipe back once and miss him. Now, this is a full Alliance War fight. This is the stun immune node over on the right hand side. And what I'm actually going to be showing in this fight is that it is possible to take him down in Neophym form. I know I've just taken all the time to explain how to get him out of it. But in worst case scenarios, you can take him down. Now, I do realize, and I hate just always showing, you know, the best case scenarios, because I realize that not everybody is going to have, you know, a high level 550 Doctor Strange, but he is a really, really good character, and I can't recommend him high enough if you're, you know, stuck between characters to rank up. He is just overall a great character in Alliance Wars on offense. And what you'll see here is I've had such a terrible start to this fight, but I am able, you know, to kind of take advantage of Doctor Strange's healing factor. The biggest thing here when he is in stun immune is that you just have to pick your opportunities. You know, when he's doing his heavy attack, or when he is doing a special, that really is the main opportunities that you get to attack him. One thing that I do want to mention is when he's doing his specials, the tendency is to, you know, when you see him start to go into those, you want to swipe back a lot to get out of the way. But one tip that you really want to keep in mind is you don't want to get yourself backed into a corner. So like right here, when you see him going into that animation, go ahead and stand your ground best you can, and when he disappears and right before he pops back up, that's the time that you want to, and I screwed it up there, but that's the time that you want to evade. You do not want to get yourself pushed into a corner like I did at the beginning of this fight. If you've got characters that are not able to regen their health, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I think he's a fun character to fight. He's a pain, but I do enjoy the challenge. One thing that does help me out quite a bit here is the fact that Doctor Strange's specials, it just takes some time, but even if you're playing poorly, you can always get your specials, which I just barely had enough time there to get my health back. Which the problem here is that my health was so low that I was forced really to use my S3 there, and I think he's getting enough regen back from that debuff that I put on him that it's probably nullifying any damage I do to him, but I just needed to be able to get some life back. Right there was a great example of really standing your ground during the special and only moving at the last second. I just barely got that barely got that S3 off during my health buff. At this point, obviously, I am not going to be able to take him down. These can be long fights, especially if you're giving him some regen. But thankfully, right here, they do not count that hit. So I come back in to finish him off. And again, do remember that if you are fighting him, and there have been many opportunities to push him into swashbuckling form, this is just kind of an example of showing you that you can do it when he's in Neophym form. You just need to be very, very aware that almost every single hit you try, you just need to have your left thumb ready to swipe back. I can't stress that enough. Like right there, you have very, very little time to react when he evades back. So overall, fun character to fight, good challenge. Again, I'm showing the legend here. He's number 67 currently, but that's a good character, high level to go up against in duel if you're trying to practice. Alright, I will link at the very end of this video my previous how-to video, which was on Spider-Man, very similar to this. Hopefully you've been able to learn something about Nightcrawler and have a few things there that you can take in and apply to your own gameplay to beat him. As always, comments and questions are appreciated. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Later.